Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. This is Lifestyle Critic, where we break down movies and TV shows into their core elements. And in this video we are going to be reviewing Scooby-Doo in Where's My Mummy, which is Scooby-Doo's take on the famous ancient mummy mythology. And you know, for the most part it is a really great movie. I do feel like it would have benefited from being a little bit more horror based, but you know, that being said, it's got loads of twists and turns in this movie. It's got a very involved storyline. You can tell that they've done their research for this film, and it even had a theatrical release when it was first released all those years ago. So you know, it is definitely a moment type film, which I'm going to be breaking down for you in this movie review. So from a storyline point of view, just like any classic mummy movie, we first jump to the past in ancient Egypt, where we see Cleopatra burying her treasure under a sphinx as she is being attacked by a Roman Empire army, and she places a curse on anyone that tries to discover her treasure. We then jump to present day, where Velma is working with Prince Omar on a bit of an Egypt dig, where they suddenly discover Cleopatra's tomb. But the rest of the Mystery Incorporated gang then catch up with them, along with some treasure hunters who also want to get their hands on Cleopatra's treasure. All of the characters then get chased by the army of the undead, which leads to Scooby and Shaggy being taken away from the gang and having their own side mini-plot storyline, where Scooby-Doo is thought to be a pharaoh and is the answer to an old age ancient prophecy. So you know, from a storyline and plot point of view, it is really great. Like I said before, it's really involved. But like I also said before, it really would have benefited from being a little bit more darker and horror based. So from a cast and characters point of view, the wider cast in this movie are actually really great, and it's really nice that they have a particular famous face in this cast as well that I'll talk about in a second. So let's go through them one by one. So first up we have Velma Dinkley, who is definitely the main narrative lead in this film. The fact that she is based in Egypt and is based upon this dig site, she is definitely driving the film forwards. And then something happens to this character that involves Cleopatra's curse. The rest of the Mystery Incorporated gang members are trying to make it out alive from this crazy mummy type situation, and are also trying to work out what the truth is behind the whole Cleopatra mystery, especially when this character seemingly resurrects herself and comes back from the dead, which is really interesting. But like I said before, Scooby and Shaggy are with the gang, but then they're also with their own mini plot, where everyone is thinking that ancient Scoobus has come back and is going to save them. I absolutely love the fact that they had Oded Fehr in this movie as well. Obviously he was the brilliant character from the classic Mummy Trilogy franchise, and in this movie he is playing a character called Amal Ali Akbar, and I just think he really brings a lot of authenticity to this world and also brings his legendary voice to the film, so you really do feel immersed in the whole Egypt scenario. I also mentioned that there are some treasure hunters. So here we have Amelia Van Butch, who is definitely the lead character from the treasure hunters point of view, and she's a bit of a ruthless, formidable character that will do anything and everything to try and get her hands on Cleopatra's treasure. We then have the Prince Omar character, who, like I said in the beginning, is working with Velma Dinkley and discovers the Cleopatra Sphinx site in the first place. We also have host Rock Rivers, who is trying to resurrect his television career and is using this as an opportunity to film behind the scenes footage. And then finally we have Cleopatra herself, obviously the main narrative lead from the ancient Egypt point of view, and you don't know whether or not this character is a good character or an evil character. So from a casting character's point of view overall, like I said, a very epic event. This is why it had a theatrical release, and from a casting character's point of view, they do not disappoint. So from a visuals point of view, this film looks absolutely brilliant. Now I'm a massive fan of Egyptian mythology generally, and I just feel like this movie, like I said before, is really well researched, and you really do feel like you're in Egypt with all of these different characters, and all of the craziness that's happening just feels really real and really realistic to what Egyptian mythology is all about. So for example, all of the chase sequences, especially with the army of the undead, looks really cool. Really like the main mummy live action movies are in the Scooby-Doo world, which looks really cool. All of the treasure of Cleopatra's looks absolutely amazing, which is why all of these different characters are after it, and all of the curses that the Cleopatra character is causing on everyone. So for example, all of the locusts, all of the sandstorms, all of the army of the undead being resurrected, all of the characters being turned into stone looks absolutely brilliant. So from a visuals point of view, Where Is My Mummy actually looks absolutely brilliant. So from a comparison point of view, you know, Where Is My Mummy is actually a really, really awesome Scooby-Doo movie. It's definitely one to watch if you haven't seen it already, because of the fact that it's not horror-based, and because of the fact that it is quite childish. I feel like it's not able to reach the top tier level of Scooby-Doo animation movies. So for example, like Zombie Island, like Abracadabra Doo, and like Frank and Creepy. But that being said, I feel like it just misses the top tier, but it's definitely second tier in terms of Scooby-Doo movies. So for example, it's really a lot similar to Camp Scare, to Return to Zombie Island, to Curse of the 13th Ghost. So I feel like it's in that category. It just really would have benefited from being a lot more darker and a lot more horror based. But you know, that being said, it is definitely an awesome movie, and it's definitely one to watch if you haven't seen it already. So overall, I would say Scooby-Doo Where Is My Mummy is really, really awesome. You know, I feel like they handled Egypt really, really well. They handled mummy mythology really, really well. You can tell that they've done their research and are making everything depicted really, really well. I was a little bit nervous watching this movie because I really was expecting it to be awesome, and it did deliver for the most part. You know, I feel like all of the chase sequences were great, all of the twists and turns are really, really great, the characters are great, all of the different scenarios that they had these characters going into were absolutely brilliant. We even went to the souks with these characters too. I just feel like it really would have benefited from being a lot more horror and dark based. But you know, that being said, it is a really, really cool movie, and for all of those reasons, I'm going to give it a solid 6.5 out of 10. I'd love to hear what you think, so please let me know in the comment section below. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in my next video.